Men are becoming more and more independent and adept at ignoring women because they believe they have no other choice. Women, on the other hand, are slowly coming to this realization and are unsure of what to do. All of this is going to continue and rise in 2024. Realistically, most men would not date older women if they could objectively evaluate them, determine their genuine value, and realize they are getting a bad deal. This explains why men are so often restrained by, and prevented from thinking properly by shame. I want you to know that women simply cannot handle a man who doesn't care about shame and acts in accordance with his own wishes all the time. Until men stop caring about what other women think of them in public, they will continue to experience the shame that has been created to prevent them from quitting their relationships with older women. Women who are well over the age of marriageable capacity and have not given birth are therefore hopeless. Men shouldn't be held responsible for that by society. If anything, the responsibility is on feminism, or more specifically, the radical kinds of feminism that suggested women might live their entire lives without men. Women cannot function freely without men, at least not in my environment, or from the people I know or have seen. But I'm quite interested to know why this occurs. Why are women so dependent on men if they are equal to men and can perform all tasks that men can? Perhaps it has to do with the gender-specific expectations that are put forth by a society. Perhaps males are always expected to provide the resources while women are expected to raise the children. However, the majority of women do not subscribe to this viewpoint. They believe that the cosmos and nature have given them considerably greater responsibilities than just raising children. They are expected to make crucial decisions for massive corporations, manage the government, combat crime, become commanders and security personnel, and serve as ministers. But will a female pastor still require men in her life if they become all of those things? Or even by becoming a minister, she will still have a need for a husband or a partner to help with chores in the house. But if these women are so successful in their careers, and even if they believe they don't need men, will they keep on living like this for the rest of their lives? The fact is, men don't need to help and defend women any longer since women have the government to take care of them, and they also don't need to supply long-term resources since they can go out and bring home their own food. You don't understand women if you believe that they will simply die alone without any help. Just keep in mind that the monkey simps, hope strategists, and lonely single men who desire a partner outnumber us. We would need a lot more men to become RP and then choose to either go monk mode their own way or the free agent lifestyle. But that will never occur, to be perfectly honest. In this life, at least. Therefore, do not hold your breath. We are held hostage by women. So, believe me when I say that there will never be any change for the better for men. For instance, if a war broke out, we would have to take the shots and stabbings for them before they were ever required to grasp a gun and defend themselves. Do you know that by 2030, it's expected that a growing number of women will be single? In a recent piece, it was predicted that by 2030, 45% of American women would be unmarried. It will definitely happen, gentlemen. There will be many ladies in the future who will be alone. It may not be 45 anymore. Now that doesn't necessarily imply that they won't be piped the hell down. They will be engaging in polyculture to a large extent in addition to accomplishing that. That is definitely present already, so as time goes on, I anticipate it becoming more common. However, that is gradually disintegrating and disappearing in terms of women getting married and monogamous relationships. As a result, expect to see more older women who are single living alone and with pets in the future than ever before. Social conditioning is incredibly harmful and potent. Modern women who fall for it will go to any lengths to protect the beliefs they hold dear. In actuality, they simply combine it with the information they've received from institutions, important figures, and multinational corporations with little regard for the pleasure of women. This is a typical case of social conditioning because of the woke feminism agenda. Such women ridicule guys, demonize them, and treat them with total disdain. When women have over 10 intimate partners, their desire to get married to a man is little more than a last-ditch effort. Pair bonding is virtually impossible, and research indicates that she probably contains DNA from several guys. Men are becoming more and more independent and adept at ignoring women because they believe they have no other choice. Women, on the other hand, are slowly coming to this realization and are unsure of what to do. All of this is going to continue and rise in 2024. Men going their own way are rejecting women, even the most stunning ones who have never been rejected by a guy. How will this develop over the next 5 or 10 years? Actually, we don't know. However, it is well known that men will no longer live their lives in the same manner and allow themselves to be used by women because they have had enough. And with men going their own way, more and more men are choosing to ignore women, which is making women want men more because women have an innate need to be validated and accepted. The more men ignore women, the more women want those men. This is something all of us have witnessed and experienced from time to rhyme, and there's nothing wrong in talking about something that is so apparent. Will men in the future come to possibly think that they need women more than they realized? Or will women come to terms with the possibility that they need men more than men need women in their lives? Let's see how that goes. Women are so incredibly used to getting paid for the rest of their lives after divorces that some even initiate divorces just because they can get a guaranteed payment for the rest of their lives without having to work, and after they get rid of the guy, they start to monkey branch off to other men. Guys, no matter where you are, and no matter what age group you belong to, always know that it's not necessary that once you're married happily, it's going to stay like that forever. Women need constant validation, which I personally believe is just a cop-out for not being content with who they are at certain points in their lives and not truly being in control of their own emotions. Guys need to understand that you can't place your wife on a pedestal because it will be the standard you establish for her and what she will take for granted the rest of her life. Therefore, if anything even slightly changes, she'll think you're a horrible guy and go off with the other men for validation. So, when we say that men don't approach women anymore, there's not a single answer to this, but a combination of many facts and truths about society and gender dynamics at play today. The era we now live in has changed significantly from how society and culture were 7 or 8 decades ago. When I think about these developments, one thing stands out to me in particular. Why are males approaching women differently now than they used to? What took place during this period? Men chase women around and make idiots of themselves, but do they really want to be with them? No matter how far away from you a woman was, there was no quick way to get in touch with her before social media, smartphones, and the internet. Since there was no other way to interact with women back then, males would physically approach women to show that they were interested in them. A man had to follow social norms by dressing appropriately and even talking to the girl's parents before asking her out on a date. Men can now interact with women whenever they want, from wherever they are, and women can do the same for men. Back then, it took a lot of work. You had to organize everything on your own. It was easy, and, I guess, a bit more exciting. Since you didn't have the option of looking her up on social media, you probably had an image of the person in your head that you saw and liked. And that's what prompted guys to approach the woman face to face and ask for a date. Since that was the way things were back then, most people dated inside their own groups. Distance was a real issue. Today, you may have a live online conversation with anyone, anywhere in the globe. Therefore, both men and women did not have access to such luxury in the past. These luxuries certainly allow people to spend less time and money on socializing and going on dates, but they also lessen the authenticity of such interactions. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.